Hi there, I'm Zoot Java. Today, well, I'm a little late to the party, but I'd like to talk about this kerfuffle that happened with our good friend, Mr. Dave Chappelle. Dave got in a lot of hot water because he made some jokes regarding trans people. And all these people got bent out of shape. Um, the reason I'd like to talk about this, and the reason I waited a while, was I wanted to take a look at all the fallout that was happening here. Um, let's start off with I have been a fan, an extreme fan, of stand up comedy since I was a little kid. So I've been watching sort of an evolution of comedy uh, from way back. And basically, it's come to the point where there should be an understanding. People should know that if you go to a comedy club, anything regarding any subject whatsoever can be on the table. Anything. Doesn't matter what it is. That shows that we are in a fantastic situation with regards to the countries that we are living in. We've gotten that far that people should be allowed to speak freely on what they're doing, and in particular, joke about it. So if you get humor out of it and laugh, well, that's great. That's job number one. If it's something that is sort of reflective and you think about it and get something out of it, let's say philosophically, um, that's a bonus. And that's great. Not all comedians are focused on both of those things, and they don't have to be. They're out there to make you laugh. So, this problem reminds me of a number of things that I've seen, and it's gone on for years. A comedian will go up and they will go over a whole list of things, make fun of all sorts of different things. And then you'll see somebody or a group of people go absolutely insane because they made fun of a certain subject. And up to that point, they thought that the show was great. They're sitting there and they're laughing their heads off. And then suddenly, a subject comes up that they're sensitive about, and they get angry. I've seen people get throw things at the comedians. I've seen things where they've assaulted comedians, been all sorts of threats towards comedians. You should realize that when you go to see a comedy show, that anything can be on the table, as I mentioned. But bear in mind, some stuff that you feel very sensitive about could be the subject at some point in the night where the comic is laying his material out in front of you. And what you should do is have respect for everyone else who doesn't care about you or the little things that you find offensive. Because there's a good chance that you were laughing at something that maybe they found offensive and they were sensitive to. See, this goes all throughout the whole audience. It's kind of like waves on an ocean. This person could be insulted and not. But they're shutting up and realizing, there's other stuff and making fun of everything. That, I guess, has to be the ideal world that, you'll suck it up. If you want to, you could do what I do. And I love to, what I find the best is the mechanics of the joke. Jokes are all mechanical. They take this, and it results in, boom, your punchline right there. Okay? And they could go about it in so many different ways. Take a look at the original, basically insult type jokes that were going on for years. They started out with Irish people. They moved up to Polish people. Whoever was the new, basically, kid on the block, if you will, as far as immigrants and stuff, or just anybody in in general. And what they would do is it was almost like a joke template, and basically they would just start the joke off and say, "How many Irishmen did?" Oh, let's say it was like the light bulb joke. How many Irishmen does it take to screw in a light bulb? How many Polish people does it take to screw in a light bulb? It just like that. Don't get insulted by it. People are just saying this crap. It's a joke. Get over it. And I know everybody gets all insulted about that and says, no, it shouldn't be like that. Everybody should just be wandering around and nice to each other. Well, I find the people that complain the most and the loudest are the ones who are not that way. If they were, they'd be shutting up about this and realize that, hey, we're all in this. We're all possible victims of a comedian during the night. Myself, before the lockdowns happened, I used to go to a comedy club every week. And I purposefully sat in the very front row. And if anybody who goes to comedy clubs knows, you don't sit there if you don't want to get picked on. Like if you got a problem with it, like you sit, as far back as you can, just to make sure that they don't, go crazy and use you for a punching bag, verbally speaking. And I have been, as a result of sitting there, um, I've been made fun of tons of times for so many different reasons. And I just look at it as, comes with the territory of being dumb enough, if you will, if you're sensitive, to have sat there in the very front row to get picked on. I've been picked on over a number of things. A few of the comedians were cruel with what they said, extremely nasty, and I didn't even do anything. I didn't even say anything to stoke up the fire. I was just sitting there. So, but the thing is, I realized that these are the possibilities that can happen when you go there. And these people who are all upset with Dave Chappelle, with what he had said regarding trans women, they don't have to go there and listen to him. But that's not good enough for them. They don't want anybody to talk about it. They don't want anybody to be allowed to talk about it. That's the whole thing. They want them shut down. There have been, the case that they're making right now is the transsexual excuse me, comedian that Dave had purposely liked their material and opening up for his show. So, all these calls of him being a transphobe, well, kind of hard to believe. And he, this person, now this is conjecture. Apparently, this person committed suicide because of the flack that he got, or she got, as a result of what they were making fun of as a trans person, And so the community was giving him a lot of grief, and they just lost it and committed suicide. Now that's what the rumor is. I don't know what the truth is. I don't know if that's actually what happened. Another thing about Dave Chappelle is I don't agree with, I'd say, half of the stuff that he does. I just don't. But that's, but I do agree quite a lot of other things. Um, that's not the point, though. He's a brilliant comedian. I love the way he gets his point across. I love the way that he sets up his jokes. I love the way his whole routine rolls. He's brilliant, and he knows it. Well, how can he not know it? Um, but the thing about it all is, I've also heard him talking, and I've heard people talking about him, about other incidents, wherein he just wants people to get along. So he's making fun of all these different things, all our differences, be they racial, transphobe, homophobe, whatever, and just wants people to get along. That's that's his goal. Try and see through to yourself that maybe if we got along, maybe if we just didn't care about all these stupid things, maybe if we didn't care about stuff that absolutely means nothing and worried about just getting along as people, things would go better. He had a woman say something during one of his routines, and everybody just kind of was in shock at the way she yelled back at him. Basically, suck it up. Something like to that effect. And he invited her back. Like, he didn't invite her back. She wanted to speak to him at the end of everything. So everything's over. He's back in the green room, they call it. And somebody came and said, "Oh, that woman wants to talk to you, and I'll send her away." And he said, "No, let her come in." And she came in and she apologized. She says, "I'm sorry for being so ignorant. I didn't realize. I want to thank you for educating me. It was, I'm kind of enlightened now, if you will. And all I can say is thank you very much." And he said, "Hey, that's perfect. That's all you need. That's all you need is to understand." And he said, "You want a picture?" Like her friend was there with her. And so they got pictures with him. And he said, "Really, that's all it is." He said, "Go out there now, educate your friends." That's all he wanted. So he really does care about people. As I said, I don't agree with half the things that he does say. Like a lot of things, it's just not me to agree with it. You don't have to agree with absolutely everything. I've got a lot of favorite comedians that I don't agree with everything that they say. I just love the way that they do stuff. So, but I think this was good. I think that this cancel crap that they're trying to pull on Dave is way out of control. But it'll never happen. He is too great. He is too popular, and he doesn't care. That man is just so rich, and deservedly so. He's got an awful lot of money, and he deserves every last penny that he got from doing his comedy because he's that good. Keep it up, Dave. And anybody who says he should be canceled, as far as I'm concerned, you can go to hell. Cancellation of people is not the way to go with anything. Anything. Do not take away anyone's livelihood, no matter what. Just because you don't like them, you don't like something that they said, you don't like some way that they looked at you, whatever. I'm sorry, it's not the way to be. Anyhow, it's time for my bad joke. And you'll see this is why Dave Chappelle makes millions upon millions of dollars and I get absolutely nothing because my jokes are extremely bad. So here we go. And I recently got hired at this place and didn't last very long. What had happened was to everybody that came in to the establishment, I was saying, so would you prefer smoking or non-smoking? Apparently, this was not the terms I should have been using. It was supposed to be, do you prefer to be cremated or a standard burial? I don't know. No, huh? Oh well. A little late on the rim shot too. But anyhow, help me out here with a thumbs up or a um, subscribe, and because I'm running into trouble with YouTube and I really need the people to do this for me. I'd be very happy if you would do this for me. Help me out. So I don't want to lose my account just like I almost did with YouTube anyhow. And till later, have a Java on Zoom.